Hello, internet land. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another weekly workshop walkthrough. You didn't think we'd miss out on one, did you? Not a bloody chance. Thank you for all the great support and feedback moving these over to YouTube. It's been terrific. Lots of constructive comments there around how we can improve the audio and visual and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully we see a bit of an improvement this week. Obviously, it's a work in progress. We're electricians, boat fit out people. We're not videographers, but anyway, we'll give it a crack. So hopefully there's something here that you can see that you enjoy. We've got 3 boats in here behind me that we're going to go through at this custom Rebel 6.5 metre plate aluminium boat. We've been doing some switch panel upgrades, some bilge pump improvements in that. We've got the 685 hardtop cruise craft there in the middle, another great week, and some really big improvements there as well. And then the big 760 Haines, some updates on that. We spent another solid week installing and continuing on with the fit out. So either of these 3 things interest you, stay tuned. We're going to do a little bit of a feature on ceramic coating as well, which is what we've just been doing today on that 685. Absolutely impressive system, the way that works. And I think people should see a lot of value in ceramic coating, gel coat painted boats. Anyhow, enough waffling. Let's get on with it. Stay tuned. Let's go. All right, let's climb aboard the big Rebel. We've updated the bilge pump system in this boat during the week. Pulled this Rule 2,000 gallon per hour pump out, and this pretty old, what is that? Shore bale. Not even sure what brand it is. That looks like a Rule. We pulled that out of the boat. The customer was a little bit concerned, and probably rightfully so. It used to be mounted in here. Just open up this porthole for you so you can see. A little bit dark down there. But on that surface, I'll just pause this, I'll get some light. All right, I'm back. Here we go. So you can see it used to be mounted on that plate. Now that plate is, if you have a look where we are in relation to the transom, it's quite a long way forward, and the customer did a bit of a test on it, noticed that it took a lot of water before that float switch would engage, and I had to agree with him. It's probably far more than I'd be comfortable with, so we've relocated it down in front of the outboard here in that main pod under that plate. So we've had that plate off and put a new float switch and bilge pump in there, so that water, when it's in the hull, it's going to get pumped out a lot faster than it would when it's this far forward up here. So much safer, much more, I suppose, a lot more peace of mind knowing that your bilge pump's at the back of your boat rather than sort of, a metre, nearly 2 metres forward from the transom. So the other part of the job that this Rebel's come in for is a switch panel upgrade. These are very common. I think these are the BEP style panels. These aren't actually in the worst nick. Quite often we see these in far, far worse condition. They're pretty bad at cracking the corners off, don't seal very well across those surfaces, and then you start to see a lot of corrosion, particularly on more open boats, more so than hard tops and the alike. But other issue with them, you can't tell what's on or off. There's no backlighting in them, other than physically seeing where the switch is. Particularly in the dark, it becomes a problem, so that's why our backlit switch panels are so popular. And then also we quite often see them wired up like this. There's 3 fuses for 6 switches, and you can see here that they're daisy chained. So electrically, it works, but it's not good practice. If that one fuse blows, then both switches, both circuits that's connected to, stop working. So it's far from ideal. This is the sort of gauge wire that's lucky to be 6mm square wire. That was pretty much a single 6mm wire feeding the entire boat from all the way down at the battery, and then ran onto this common bus bar. And this little stud here as well, tiny little stud. So part of the job. And the switch panel is obviously a new fuse panel, but we also install a new circuit breaker, if I can get the video there. Yeah, so you can see we've installed a 60 amp circuit breaker. We've also installed it with much heavier gauge wiring, so this is easily going to be able to handle any of the loads that this boat ever has put on it from the 12-volt system at least 4 to 5 times larger than what it started out with. And then you can see here, we also label, so we know exactly which cable's going where. Just helps with diagnostics and understanding how your boat works, particularly when you're out at sea and you're trying to work out why something's not working. Having a label on a cable definitely speeds that whole process up. Let's have a look out the front of the boat. And that's the new switch panel that we've custom designed, manufactured. That's also backlit. I can't actually show you that at the moment because we're not powered up and we're still in the process of wiring up behind there. But this is just a nice UV stable acrylic gloss black. These switches are backlit switches, so the little blue ring around them lights up when the switch is on, and then we backlight each one of these labels. These switches are fully waterproof and good for around 20 amps each. So yeah, really good quality switches. Let's have a look around the back of the helm. So this is what it looks like at the moment. You can see we're in the process of still finishing off. There's the back of our switch panel. Everything's marked and labelled on the back. All nicely rigged, the wiring coming through. And then we've mounted 2 new Blue Seas 12-way fuse panels in here. You can see the heavy cabling coming in along the bottom here, and also the earth, so match that size. And then every single cable is labelled as well at this end, so you can see there you go. Everything's labelled, including the earths. All right, so that way if the covers, these, we put labels on these as well, which you'd see in other videos, and you'll see on this one later on when it's finished. This cable was to, this cover was ever to get lost, or more commonly these labels fall off, then at least you can still ID which fuse is which, and that's the same across all of them. So running down there, we come down, we've got a wiring harness here which all needs to be terminated off, but all in all, although you haven't seen it before, for a tidy up job and a new switch panel install, which this is pretty typical, do a switch panel, you need to have decent fusing. So it fixes a lot of problems. It's just going to make this boat so much more reliable and give the owner just a lot more confidence, given that it's a boat that fishes a long way offshore. Should a fuse blow, you can very quickly go and find where the problem is and fix it. But that's coming up great, so watch this space as we complete this one. All right, next up is the big 685 Hardtop cruise craft. It's been all cosmetic work on this big rig over the course of the week. So we've had the team from Specialised Marine Flooring in. They've installed some U-deck teak over black in here in the engine well on the step, and the step through into the transom. That's come up an absolute treat. It's got a very similar teak U-deck already inside the hull, and this is just sort of finishing that off. While they're here, they've also removed and replaced the boot line stickers all the way down the side. They were all broken, cracked. Also removed the rego stickers off the hull here. We've got some nice new ones coming in. And then for the last 2 days, this boat has been getting fully detailed. So buffed and cut right back. Full surface preparation. All the stainless steel's been polished. Perspex, plastic windows, the glass windows have all been done. And then today we've just started applying ceramic coating, which for those of you that have had ceramic applied to your painted cars will attest to the fact that it is an incredibly great product to apply on the outside of a vehicle. Water just beads off, makes it so much easier to clean, and it just brings out this deep, rich gloss. I mean, I'm not sure if you can see that shine or whether the lighting here and the camera's actually doing it justice, but from the gunnels down, we've got the ceramic coat on here, and it has completely transformed this boat. It was extremely chalky. The hardtop in particular was a shocker. It had a lot of grinding dust on it too, so those fine rust stains stuck in the pores of the gel coat. It was an absolute nightmare for old Matty to get it out. But you can see he's done a tremendous job on it. The shine, even in the hardtop now, is just out of this world. Absolute perfectionist. Honestly, looks better than new. So anyway, we've still got some more ceramic coating to go. We still do all the top sides, do all the hard top, do the outboard, and then that side of things will be done. And then in the next week or two, we're sending this back over to AHS Yachts to replace this gunnel rubber. You can see it's all yellow, it's all sun faded. The UV's just killed it. It's the only ugly thing left on the boat now. So nice white gunnel rubber. Still waiting for the NSS 416 Simrad screen to come in. We're building a custom stainless steel rod rack for the port side gunnel pocket there so that rods can get stored there when you're fighting marlin. And yeah, other than that, we're getting really, really close to completion on this job. Anyway, stay tuned for updates next week. And considering we're spending so much time talking about the ceramic coating, this is the product that we're using. This is the Ceramic Pro Bravo series, which is designed for boats and salt water use, basically. But yeah, it's an amazing product. This is what it comes in, these little bottles, and it's amazing how far that actually goes. But yeah, lay it on, sits in there, flattens out the surface of the hull, or surface that it's being applied to, and basically just creates almost like a sheet of glass on there. It's amazing. I'll drop a little video in now of Matt laying in the Ceramic Pro on the surface of his cruise craft, just so you can see how the process works. All right, last but not least for today, we're back on the 760 Haines Hunter. Spent most of our week here in the hardtop fit out, so plenty of work's happened in that front. So let's climb aboard and have a look around. All right, just mind while I climb up here. All right, up here on the hardtop, the fit out is pretty well done. You can see this beautiful silver colour which matches the gearboxes. It's 2-pack that we had AHS Yacht supply. The roof fit out is done. We've got a pair of 100-watt solar panels mounted on the roof. We've got a Furuno radar sitting on that custom radar mount. A set of stainless steel Pacific VHF antennas mounted. These are the 2.4 metre whips. We've got that on both sides. And then all up the front of the brow here, got the FLIR camera mounted as well, and all the cables pulled through. And then underneath the brow, a pair of Hella Seahawk LED light bars to throw a bit of light on the subject during the night. But yeah, it's a pretty awesome looking hard top. Plenty going on, that's for sure. On the back of the rocket launcher, we've got the Hella Seahawk, pair of floodlights on there as well. Cables all run down through the stainless steel tube. And speaking of cabling, that was a lot to bring through. You can see here's our cable runs, all nice and neat, running down the inside of the pillar. It's a lot to get through a little gap. We've had to open up a second hole on the port side as well to bring those cables through, run down. This is all speaker cabling, so this is audio on this side and power on the starboard side. This is all RCA cables. So we've got the Fusion RA770 mounted up here in the hardtop. So we've had to, because the hardtop is just very difficult to pull cables through, we've made up our own high quality RCA leads, so that way we don't have the big fat plug on the end that we've also got to pass through. So we've just got a bare cable, and then we terminate the RCA leads off at either end. We've got the ICOM radios in as well. And then you can see in the roof, everything's rigged up. Cabling's in there. GPS antenna for the ICOMs are in as well. Same on this side. And then we've got some porthole covers to go in on that. We've got a pair of these are the new Fusion 6.5-inch Apollo speakers. So we've got one there, one here, and we've also got the same at the back, matching in the top of the hardtop. So the sound's going to be great. These speakers being in there are nice and boxed in, so we're going to get really good bass out of those speakers there. And I actually prefer them in this position than sometimes you see them here. We've got two problems. The cone's too deep, and we can't fit it underneath the VHF there, but it just blasts you. Like when you've got the thing cranking, this is going to have an amp, it's got a sub, so no doubt the owner loves good music and it's loud, but it absolutely kills your ears because it's right above your head there. So down here, at least you're going to get better bass and sort of mid-tones with them being there. But yeah, so 6.5-inch Apollos here as well. We're wiring up the little red backlight in these as well, which will just throw a little bit of red ambient light. And that's all controlled by this big row of rocker switches across here. There's so much work in these fit outs that you don't see. You know, once the trim goes on this hardtop pillar here, it's gone. You'll never see it. But the amount of time and effort it takes just to get things rigged up nice like that, it's just incredible. And then you can see that in here. We're sort of coming into this hatch here on the starboard side, on the driver's side. You can see we've been in here. They're all our custom 3D printed cable tie saddles that we actually glue on. We don't use double-sided tape as the back of our speaker rigging and wiring, and then more cabling running up there. All nice and neat as a pin, all done properly. Kevlar sleeve in through Kevlar rather sleeve in there as well for any areas that we're a little bit worried about any chafing. So yeah, there's a lot of work. This is one thing that people don't appreciate in these fit outs that just isn't seen from the outside. All right, we sort of carefully climb in the cab here. You'll see a lot of this cabling that we've been pulling down from the hardtop, all coiled up here. Meters and meters and meters of cabling. So this is pretty much everything from the hardtop now brought down in behind the helm, which is where we're going to be installing a big breaker panel. You can see we're starting to mark what cables are doing what and where they're going. The end of every single cable is labelled. We've been pretty blessed with this boat because the customer's done a lot of work after buying it from the factory. He spent nearly another 12 months here at the shipwright. He's gone and put in nice big conduits and glassed them over for us, so we can do all our big cable runs through it underneath the shelf in here as well. You see all that all the way running up to the front to where the anchor winch will be. But yeah, definitely makes life much easier for us when there's been a bit of foresight put in by the owners or the boat builder, which is always nice. Some more cabling coming through here as well. That's a big hole for the 10-inch subwoofer for this guy going in there. But yeah, just a ton more cabling that we've pulled through. All right, well that's a bit of a wrap on the 760 Haines for this week. All right, well I thought you might be interested in seeing a little bit of our workshop in these videos as well, just so you can see where and how things get done. Thought I'd show you, give you a quick view of this. We've just literally built this week. By no means our greatest wiring effort, but this is just a battery test bench, Victron test bench. So it enables us to, you know, install these big lithium batteries, put a nice big inverter load. Where's my finger going? Everything's backwards here at the moment. Yeah, put a big inverter load on them. We've got a servo connected to it, battery monitoring. And then the other cool thing is we've also got NMEA 2000 and Marine Ethernet network built into it. So we can just bring any old device in here, plug it into an NMEA 2000, check and see that it's working. We can pre-program digital switching, bring different types of batteries in, really load test them to make sure that everything's going well, put a big charge in them. So yeah, it's just a really good way for us to do some diagnostics and testing before things go into customers' boats, and also helps us learn, which you know, you never ever stop learning in this game. That's one thing for sure. All right, and people always ask me, what's that noise behind you, Bargy, in your videos? If you're not aware, we do a lot of part manufacturing as well. So predominantly a lot of 3D printing, laser engraving, laser cutting, and CNC machining. So we've got a big range of our own products that we make, manufacture and sell online. You can check that out on our website. But behind me is our very small print farm, which is growing rapidly. You can see in there at the moment. We're printing, well, these guys have just finished, but we've got some Starlink mounts for the Starlink minis, which we do plenty of. This is where we hold all our stock. Lots and lots of mounts. And then in here, got some ProTech products being printed. So another product that's unique to us. Very cool what capabilities the old 3D printing can bring into a business. So yeah, check out our range. There might be something there that interests you. But anyway, I thought you might find it interesting just to see what else we do other than fitting out boats. All right, guys, well, that's a wrap for another weekly workshop walkthrough. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hey, if there's anything that you see that you'd like to see more of in these videos, don't hesitate to leave me a comment, so I can kind of tailor it a little bit more to what you'd like to see during these workshop walkthroughs. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Obviously very important. Every time we update a new video, you're going to get notifications, so super important part of the YouTube program. Stay tuned. Next week we're doing a big launch. We are exhibiting at the Sydney Boat Show at Olympic Park for the first time off our own back this year, which is going to be exciting. We've got a very cool promotion that we're going to be launching next week, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. You definitely will not want to miss out being a part of it. Anyhow, guys, that is a wrap for now. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe. Catch you then. Bye.